Okay, picture this. A president, a dead billionaire sex trafficker, and a handwritten birthday card that's got everyone from Fox News to MSNBC either screaming hoax or cover up. Donald Trump just slapped the Wall Street Journal with a multi-billion-dollar defamation suit over a story claiming he sent Jeffrey Epstein a racy birthday note back in 2003, complete with a doodle of a naked woman and some eyebrow-raising lines about so-called wonderful secrets. Trump has called it all fake news, saying he warned Rupert Murdoch himself, and now he's gunning for damages that could bankrupt a small country. But is this lawsuit a slam dunk win for Trump, or could it all blow up in everyone's faces like so many courtroom battles? Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll see why this isn't just about a letter. It's a full-blown media war with First Amendment fireworks, Epstein file drama, and enough public outrage to light up your feed for a few weeks. So we have to rewind on how this mess exploded. This all kicked off July 17th, when the Journal dropped a bombshell, a piece about a leather-bound album Ghislaine Maxwell put together for Epstein's 50th birthday. Supposedly inside, letters from big names like Bill Clinton, Vera Wang, and apparently also Trump. This note that Trump supposedly sent is framed by a hand-drawn outline of a nude lady, and it spins this fantasy chat between Trump and Epstein, ending with, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret, signed, Donald." Well, that sounds pretty on the nose and kind of sketchy as hell now, doesn't it? Trump, of course, predictably flips out, denies it, brands it fabrication, and threatens to sue everyone in sight. He even orders the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to push for unsealing those Epstein grand jury transcripts, figuring it'll prove he's got nothing to hide. And suddenly, it's the next day, July 18th, and Trump does file in federal court down in Florida. The defendants? Well, think Dow Jones, that's the Journal's publisher, News Corp's Murdoch as the chairman emeritus, and CEO Robert Thompson, and two reporters who penned the piece. He's asking for at least $10 billion in damages. The complaint screams false, malicious, and defamatory, accusing the Journal and the reporters of knowing it was bogus or recklessly disregarding how obviously on the nose and fake this story was, but publishing it anyway to tank his reputation. Trump claims he personally tipped off Murdoch and the editor-in-chief before it ran. Meanwhile, the DOJ, of course, has jumped in, filing to unseal those Epstein docs in Manhattan, citing massive public interest. Fast forward to July 21st. The case lands with Judge Darren Gales, an Obama appointee. The White House starts playing hardball, boots the Journal from Trump's Scotland trim press pool, blaming ongoing litigation. No hearings yet, but defendants have until August 11th to respond. Then, July 23rd, the Journal drops another report. Back in May, Bondi allegedly told Trump his name popped up in Epstein files. Nothing incriminating, just mentioned. But why is the DOJ holding back on more releases? As for the White House, more claims of fake news, naturally. July 24th, the Journal follows up. Epstein's birthday book had similar bawdry letters from Clinton's and others. Perhaps an attempt to show balance? But Trump isn't buying it. By the 28th, he files for an expedited deposition of the 94-year-old Murdoch, citing health risks and urgencies. A hearing's tentatively scheduled for August 5th, and that's the timeline so far in the lawsuit. No rulings, just filings stacking up like a bad poker hand. Now, of course, we need to move on to the law and why this lawsuit's even possible. So let's break down the legal guts. Trump's leaning into Florida's defamation law, which demands pre-suit notice. He allegedly skipped that, according to some commentators, and experts are buzzing that if this is true, it could get the whole thing tossed. But assuming that this is just fake news once again, it's a classic case of defamation per se. Stuff that wrecks your reputation without any need to prove specific harm. Trump's, of course, got to show the story was false, published, damaging, and key, done with actual malice, since he, of course, is a very public figure. That's the biggie from New York Times versus Sullivan. Knowledge it was fake, or perhaps in this case, the more appropriate standard of reckless disregard for the truth. If the story was so fishy, so obviously on the nose, that no reasonable reporter should have relied on it without further confirmation. Trump's, of course, yelling malice because he warned them. As for the precedent, Sullivan does set a sky-high bar, particularly for politicians like Trump to win. Trump has lawsuits against reporters before on similar grounds. But of course, opinions can defame if they imply fake facts. The Journal might have some defenses, of course, truth being the most obvious, and fair reporting privileges of public figures. The docket's in the Southern District of Florida, perhaps an opportunity for some amicus filings. But think tanks like Heritage so far have slammed DOJ secrecy, while the ACLU pushes for transparency. What's pending? That Trump Murdoch Depot motion. Expect the Journal to try to file a motion to dismiss, no malice, or trying to invoke Florida-specific anti-SLAPP law to smack down a speech-chilling suit, although whether that can be used in federal court can get a little dicey. Discovery, of course, could go both ways. It could, of course, bite at Trump, forcing him to cough up documents related to Epstein, perhaps exposing ties to Mar-a-Lago. But, of course, it could go the other way if it shows reckless disregard by reporters, especially if anyone highlighted the sketchy nature of the story before publication. As for the odds, pundits say dismissal is certainly possible because malice is tough to prove, and the Journal so far has stand by its sourcing, although not said what it is. But of course, this isn't just a courtroom chess match. It's a culture war inferno. Folks on the right, of course, are raging about weaponized media, seeing the Journal, which of course is Murdoch's baby, flip on Trump post-2024 as a deep state betrayal. They point to the so-called Clinton letter in the files as an attempt to balance coverage for an anti-Trump hit job, yet a distraction from real wins like the economy. Of course, the left is predictably hollering accountability chill, framing Trump suits as dodging Epstein ties he once bragged about. In perhaps an unexpected twist, we've even seen some cross-aisle nods for unsealing the files, perhaps some bipartisan cooperation looking into those Epstein files. Public vibe, of course, is split fierce. 60% negative on lefty spots monkeying Trump as guilty, 30% positive in right circles calling it a fake news witch hunt, 10% being overall neutral. Memes, of course, are endlessly flying. Trump Epstein edits, FA, FO riffs. As for viral takes, plenty of those. People saying things like suing the Wall Street Journal is like Epstein suing for privacy. Too late. Or a comment saying Trump strawing what? Sentiment has spiked in this post-suit hotness in both Florida and New York. Big creators, of course, are also weighing in. One with 1 million subs calling it a doomed malice unprovable case, another slamming Trump's hoax fix. As for the ideological lines, the right loves the speech chill hooks, the left pushes for ties exposed. Engagement, of course, is off the charts, with likes and comments exploding. The top takes bubble with outrage, with comments such as discovery goldmine versus media bias. Ratios tilt negative overall, but right-leaning spots, of course, are rallying hard. Mockery dominates in short-form clips. Deeper dives on long forms have unpacked the entire malice mess. This, of course, is peak weaponized bureaucracy. The DOJ hiding files to shield elites while targeting Trump Epstein cover-up vibes. The suit fights media smears as outlets in the past have settled big, such as ABC's $15 million settlement and CBS's $16 million, which deter lies. As for the Journal's take on Trump, this all could be just one big hoax distraction. Dems have amplified this to dodge positive economic news. As for claims that Discovery risks truth outs and that source are solids, Trump denying clashes with known ties, of course, this is only half the story. Litigation will also expose malice. Settlements in the past have proved Trump's strength. As for the claim that malice is unprovable because the Sullivan bar is too high, well, in this case, Trump provides specific warnings in advance, which helps to amplify the claim of recklessness. And the bias and malice is evident in the publishing of this story, one so obviously on the nose, one so obviously anti-Trump that any reasonable observer would be crazy to publish it without solid verification, which is not at all evident. As for that so-called public figure burden and that Trump has somehow invited scrutiny by promising releases, promises are being kept by the DOJ seeking release of those grand jury transcripts, and the suit itself upholds speech by punishing fakes. This Epstein-Trump saga a powder keg of media trust, elite secrets, and free speech or accountability on the line. Will the suit survive? Well, it's unclear. But discovery, if we get that far, could unleash hell with many more ties being surfaced. Even if it's dismissed, Trump's fake news war, of course, will rage on as he goes against the unaccountable media. Either way, if there are any files unsealed, it might flip everything. But what do you think? Do you think it's all hoax, or do you think it's a deliberate hit job? Drop your take below, smash like if you're Team Truth, and subscribe for more breakdowns that cut through all the BS. Until later, I'm Uncivil Law, and remember to keep it uncivil out there. Peace.